as well as Doge Committee, Brandon, Gill, and Representative Gill. You know what's amazing? All America is watching right now this sausage making, and it's turning our stomach. So I want to get from you, someone you're dealing with this firsthand as an elected official. Why is it so hard to execute the will of the people? We just went to the polls in November. We told Washington what we want. Why can't you and your colleagues get it done?
Well, I'll say a couple things. First of all, thank you for having me on. We're going to get this bill done. You know, whenever you follow these bills on a minute-by-minute or hour-by-hour basis, you see how the sausage is made, and it looks messy. That's because we've got a lot of different factions. There's a lot of negotiations going on. But we got the bill passed out of the House. The Senate's going to get it passed out of the Senate. We're going to get it signed into law before July 4th. You know, one of the difficult things here is that we're trying to reduce mandatory spending, trying to do the things that we said we were going to do on the campaign trail, like repeal the Green New Deal. You know, there's a lot of special interests that do not want to have their subsidies and tax credits taken away from them. That's what we're fighting against.
Yeah.
But once all this is said and done, we're going to get this bill done.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt there's some extraordinarily powerful folks. You know, when we say waste, fraud, and abuse, and it's trillions of dollars, that means someone's pocketing that money, and they don't want to let it go too quickly. So talk to us about the pros. What do you like right now about this that the American public should appreciate?
Well, think of this bill as the whole and break it down into its component parts. You've got border security and funding deportations. This is going to increase ICE's footprint by 50%, fund the border wall, fund river barriers. These are all things Republicans have been talking about for a long time and that the American people have been demanding. We're going to plus up military funding after Joe Biden has been tearing it down for 4 years. And then, of course, there's rolling back large portions of the Green New Deal. I think we can do more there. I think the Senate may do more, which I would love to see. And then, of course, by the way, is an extension and making permanent of the largest tax cuts in American history. These are all things that the American people voted for last November.
You know, it's so interesting with the Green New Deal. Every time I see these solar stocks go through the roof, and they've done that a lot during this process, I know that you guys have more work that can be done. Let's talk quickly about some of the cons. What are you kind of concerned about? What you like to see taken care of before it's all, before it becomes official?
You know, the biggest things I'd like to see is we gave a lot of concessions to get this bill out of the House and to the Senate on salt. We raised the salt cap to $40,000 a year. That increases on a year-by-year basis with inflation. I think that that's too much. I think we need to bring that down. Second, we've repealed hundreds of billions of dollars of Green New Deal corporate welfare. There's more left that we can hit. Again, this is where the special interests come to play. Whenever any government money is handed out to anybody, they will fight tooth and nail to make sure that they keep receiving their handouts, and that's what we're up against. So I would like to see the Senate pull back more of that Green New Deal funding. With that said, this is a phenomenal bill. It's a huge step in the right direction, and it allows us to execute on the Trump agenda.
Yeah, on those big corporations, I've always said the biggest welfare queens in America, large corporations. Doge.
That's exactly right.
Is it too late to have some of that codified? I mean, obviously Elon Musk isn't happy with it. A lot of people aren't happy with it, and everyone was thrilled with the things that they found, and we wanted to keep going.
That's right. Elon Musk and his team did phenomenal work at exposing the waste, fraud, and abuse and showing us tangible examples of where our taxpayer dollars have been going. We've been doing the same thing on the Doge committee that I sit on. We've had hearings with NPR, with USAID, and other egregious examples of waste. I don't think that we can get these rescission bills done fast enough. I think this is something the American people have been demanding that we actually execute on. They don't just want hearings. They don't just want talk. They want this money clawed back. So what I'm hearing now is that we're going to get a rescission bill Monday that will pull back money from NPR and PBS, two left-wing propaganda outlets that get over $500 million every year. We're also going to claw back money from USAID. I think that's a great start, but we've got a lot more to do after that.
And the CBO won't add the tariff revenue in there. I guess that's something that, as a politician, you'll have to go back and tell your constituents, hey, that should be in there. And I did want to make note, I've been watching you here for a little bit. You're coming on strong. I'm doing my research, and you're also married to conservative royalty, my man. So congratulations on you and your young family as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We just had our first son. He's about 2 weeks old and happy and healthy, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you're fighting a good fight. Congressman Gill, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.